I am Instagramming live to show you that I'm not hinged, freaking out. Yes, a little bit, because I'm a mother. So I am. And you would too. And anybody who doesn't understand that is not a mum. And that's that. So, yes, last night I got an email from my visa processing place saying, hey, it could take up to 9 months, and I've already waited 2 months. Yeah, if you had to wait a whole year to get into the US to see your kid, and you have to make a choice between education, education and your time, and what the government is deciding to do. For no would ask questions. You would ask questions. And really, I got on Instagram Live to talk about the only counter thing that anyone can say to me right now is go, oh, M.I.A, aren't you anti-black, to turn these people against me. And that is the blanket they've always hidden behind, because this is a very sensitive issue. Yeah, I haven't replaced my phone yet from the last Instagram Live. Yeah, I just don't want to stay on here too long, but I want to say, if anyone who's got the question of like, hey, you know, this is racism, and it's like, it's not. I am a mum who's trying to get into the US to go and see my child. My child happens to be made up of the family who are currently at war in a different country, okay? And on the other side, that's the political side to why it might not be processed so quickly in the visa office of the government that they fund and campaign for. But it's about the fact that also Ben got the black card, and he would always out against me. And it's not that, like, Jay-Z did not choose not to help me at the time because I'm Indian, and he doesn't help Indians, and he chose Ben because he's black. It's not true. Jay-Z chose to stay out of it and keep quiet and take himself out of the picture. And you know, and I left Rock Nation because of course Jay-Z has to choose money. Jay-Z will always choose money, and that was the point. Like, I don't expect Jay-Z to help me, but I didn't know about those boundaries and those lines and about money until I experienced that. So until it hit my personal life in that way, that involved my child, I did not know how much love for money, or, of course, respect even, because Jay-Z has to respect the family that gave him Def Jam. If somebody gave you Def Jam and made you an executive of Def Jam, are you going to choose the mum and the child, or are you going to choose the boss? So this is not about race. Please leave race out of it, and this is important for me to clear this up for all the black people out there, that Jay-Z did not pick me because I am not black and Ben is black. That's not what happened. Jay-Z picked the family that put him on. And that is not Ben, that was Ben's dad, who's a different fucking race. And that is that. I just wanted to clear that up for you guys. So that's one thing on the race issue. The second thing is about the vaccine thing. I was specifically talking about permission. I think when it comes to a child's body, until that child is 18, both parents should have a right to decide what happens to that child. Unless you are completely beyond incapable as a human being, and you're a severe, incapable to raise a child, and which is not the case, because I work and I take care of people and I do all of these other responsible things. Looking after my child has not been a problem. So yes, both parents should have a say in what happens to a child's body, especially during a government that campaigns so hard about your body, your choice and rights and all of this stuff. What happens to a child? What happened to the parents' rights on that child? So no, I support equal rights for both parents to have a say if both parents are deemed capable and responsible people. And that's what I was talking about. It was about permission, which is it's also by court that we both have the right, So that is that. And I do feel bad that my child has to experience this during his birthday week, but I just got the email and I can be patient, and I have been, because I know I have to be patient, because he's been in school in America for 2 years. So, it's not about patient. And also, I moved to America in this time so that I can be closer to my child while education was happening in America. But while the education was happening in England, it's not difficult for his dad to move to London, but that never happened. So in that sense, I am doing a lot more. So I just wanted to clear those things up, that this is a unique situation because whoever has the authority to decide my visa, what are they influenced by in making this decision? Are they influenced by, obviously the person who's making the decision on my visa was not there 4 years ago. So it's a new person. This person's probably a lot younger than me, probably super prejudice, probably racist, and probably is educated by all of these fake movements and divisions or narrative that's being painted in the last 4 years. Of course, if you filled yourself up with all of this BS that's happened in the last 4 years, you would also have problems deciding what is right. You won't be in a good place to put a mother and a child and a father in a row and decide what the right thing to do is. You would not. You would be 100% influenced by your racist ideologies, your national identity, your ethnic whatever, preference, your preference for finances and money and power. Those are the things you will be influenced by. This is why people like me are constantly kept in the chat because we have to stay in the chat to remind people of like the humanitarian casualties that always get caught up when people decide by money, wealth, power, and how manipulating the systems causes casualties on every other level underneath it. So the issue here is not, me supporting, again, Julian Assange and freedom of speech and journalism because I've been able to visit the United States for the last 14 years since he has been in jail or in the embassy. So it's not that. So what is different this time I applied? And, what is the difference? You have to use your critical theory mind, put it on, and be like, okay, what happened the last 2 years that changes the game on my visa situation? One is I spoke about vaccine, but even after that, they gave me the visa. So I'm going to rule that out. And yeah, I know that. I know who's running the circles, but the point is the circles are run by creating this fake illusion that this is about some sort of division. This is a division that was created in 2016 by painting the narrative that I am anti-black, and somehow siding with the wrong people is you being pro-black and for black empowerment, which is not the case. The reason why I became anti-black in this narrative and in the news and in the mainstream is because I stood up against the killing of Colonel Gaddafi, who I don't benefit from. I'm not the family that gained $1 billion from that. So if you want to talk about, black empowerment, there is two types. One is you can say, you can talk about Africa and what happened there, or you can talk about, yes, African American culture. And you know what? Until 2016, when it became fashionable, none of these people were saying that. They were all happy. And even today, the reason why nobody can speak up against the war is because it's not true. This is also what Kanye is saying, that behind that there's another thing. And, I think that's really important. And they took me fighting for equality and me making records or going to build schools in Africa out of my story so easily and so quickly. They were able to just turn that around and keep painting this narrative about my anti-black. So, how do you do that? How am I anti-black if the first thing I did with my money is go build schools in Africa and not even Sri Lanka? So it's a narrative that was specifically painted in 2016 for the rise of whatever this situation that Kamala Harris and Biden and all of these people were fighting against. It was actually Hillary Clinton that was running at the time, and George Soros. And it's not, yes, you can say, it's about certain certain narratives have to be built, but they took me out in that process. And they took me out not because I'm a racist white person, or somebody who was anti-black. They took me out because I was a different kind of person talking about oppression, and that narrative is different. I want to say that right is right and wrong is wrong. And, this is about representing all the mums in the world. And I think that sometimes maybe you have to do this in order for them to now it's not about politics. Now it's not about money. It's not about wealth. It's not about power. Like, they have billions of dollars. Everyone's happy. Everyone's wealthy. Everyone's got what they want. Everyone's got the power. Everyone can manipulate news, elections, whatever the outcomes of everything is. Everyone has this. But now it's about a mum and a child. And that is where I am coming from. And when people say to me, hey, why don't you get an immigration lawyer, who's going to help you, I'm finding it difficult to find one. I'm finding it difficult to find one who is not afraid of money and who can make decisions like King Solomon on what is right, not who has the most money. And that's the difference, because we have let human beings become like this over the last 5 years or 10 years and think it's okay for their behavior to constantly choose and make these decisions, at the same time preaching to us to be better people, be conscious, be environmentally friendly, we must save people, let's vaccinate them like we care. While they're doing this hypocritical bullshit chat, their decisions are 100% always made by money. And this is why, and money and power, and this is why it's important to even educate them. It's even to break through the greed and the ignorance, because, and if I'm using my situation to explore this and explore these ideas, then fine. So, yes, sometimes we need people in these places, whether there's lawyers and immigration people or whatever, who can make decisions based on just people, families, children, mums. So that is why I'm here today. My camera is turned green. Is Matangi moding? Anyway, thank you all for joining, and I want to say that yes, from personal experience, I can only speak from personal experience, and I'm not guessing things. I've been going through this for 14 years. I think I know what I'm talking about. And yes, on the timeline, the shit that changes is events in history. And, you know, the events that determined what I went through in 2014 are slightly more intense today. But is much more my camera is going, and I'm gonna buy a new phone right now, but the phone that I have is banned. It was banned all over the world because iPhone banned it, so I can't get it fixed anywhere. I am gonna buy an Indian phone and call you back.